I'm LP Master 6, and welcome to my 114th Let's Play. The long-awaited sequel, not so much actually, this came out the same year, to Game & Watch Gallery 1. You guessed it, it's Game & Watch Gallery 2! This released in 1997 in Japan for the Game Boy, and 1998 everywhere else as a launch title for the Game Boy Color. Very exciting stuff. Timeline-wise, this is our first Game Boy Color game on the channel. If you've never seen me before, I'm LP Master 6. I'm a little obnoxious, in case you couldn't tell, but I try not to be. But more importantly, I am playing every game in release order in every series relevant to the original Super Smash Bros. With some exceptions. I'm not going to list all the series like I normally do because that gets exhausting at the beginning of a video, and again, very obnoxious. So trying to make efforts not to be as obnoxious. But here we go, look at all this color! Now instead of wearing, you know, black, white, gray, and green, depending on what model of Game Boy, Mario can finally wear red and black? Why couldn't they still get it right? I don't know. I think it still looks really cool, but Mario's skin, like how pale it is, and how his eyes look a little red, it's kind of terrifying if you really look at it, but at risk of sounding however this sounds, it's still pretty aesthetically pleasing. I like the Game Boy Color aesthetic. And we have View Gallery open from the start, even though I just did this. Up, up, down, down, left, left, right, right. You hear a sound. That was all your save data erasing. With a very simple code, no confirmation message, nothing. It just erases all your save data. And this is a hard game, so... Okay, we don't need more of this. Please stop. Alright, there's nothing in the gallery for us yet, because we haven't done anything. Welcome to continue later. Pause. Then, so yeah, we already know about this. I'm going to assume you've seen the first game, even though nobody watched my Let's Play of that. I'm sure nobody's going to watch this one either. It's talking about the interrupt save feature, and again, printed on the cartridge and everything, or maybe just the box art. 5 games in 1. Still not as many as, you know, they had in Game Boy Gallery, the first game, so Australians are probably still upset. But okay, let's just get right into Parachute. We're going to start off with Modern Easy. I think I'm going to start most games off with Classic this time. Because a complaint I have, we'll get more into it later, and this is going to sound weird, it's that the games are more convoluted than the originals in comparison to the first game. Parachute is an exception. I think Modern Parachute is it could have perfectly fit in the first Game & Watch Gallery, and it's just showing us the different mechanics here. Toads will fall the slowest. Well, everything falls at the same speed when the parachute is out, but other than that, Toad's parachutes launch first. Yoshi's parachutes launch kind of randomly. It could be as early as a Toad, or it could be right before they hit the water. The parachute will always launch, so you never have to worry about, you know, somebody's parachute not going off. But Donkey Kong Jr., as I'm probably going to refer to him as so many times. I'll get into Junior in a minute, I guess. It's just something stupid my wife and I say. I'll get into it right now. I have the time. I have the power. Alright, so it all starts with the Korean cat videos we watch from Claire Lovecat. Now, she always talks about Gundi Pong Pong, which is something one of her cats is obsessed with. It's when you slap a cat's butt, like right next to their tail, you treat it like a basketball, you know? I always used to call it basketball petting, so I would give it to my dog in childhood, like on the head though, but this is right near the butt. And a lot of cats love it. A lot of our cats love it, so our cat Morris, who's a lot like the YouTube cat that's obsessed with it, you know, we would call him the Pong Master, because, you know, it's called Pong Pong. So we just call it Pong. And then we discovered a lot of Morris's, our cats, nephews love it. So we started calling them Pong Jr. And then I signed I always make cards. My wife and I make each other cards from the cats for like holidays and stuff. And the cats obviously don't know how to write very well because they're cats. It's just stupid marriage humor that I've been explaining for like 2 minutes now. Oh, I didn't finish saying what the Donkey Kong Juniors actually do. Their parachutes only launch like right before they hit the water, so they are going to be the first thing you have to catch. If you see one, you have to go out of your way for it, unless something else is about to hit the water, like right about to. If you catch the Boo, the cannon will launch bombs for a while. And when something like a Toad, like right here, it can only be the person on the right that gets sucked into the cannon, and it's just kind of random whether that happens. They will have a different, like, acceleration toward the water because they don't have a parachute, which makes perfect sense. I'm kind of impressed that they programmed it that way at all. But that's how the Stars and the Boo have. But if you catch bombs, that counts as a miss, so don't catch the Boo. Stars are just bonus points. You can miss those with no problem. This game is essentially Fire for the Game & Watch, but it's simpler and therefore not as fun because Fire is already simple as it is. But I love the modern version because you still have 3 differences. You still have all the characters to watch out for in the 3 different planes of existence here. The 3 different tiles, squares, whatever you want to call it, rows, columns to be in. But to finish my story about Junior, one time I signed the card, instead of Silver, the cat's actual name, and Brian, because we called them both, Pong Jr. I had them both sign it Junior, Junyer, and she thought that was hilarious. So we call Silver Junior constantly. And he's not even the cat that likes the Pong the most. That would be Microfabric Waffles Pancake, the Ultimate Creation Edelman, aka Crombius. I went on this rant recently in Mario 64 Rumble Pack. Like, I don't know where Crombius came from as a nickname, but anyway, back to this. Ooh, that was close. I could have still gotten the star. But yeah, you cannot go out of your way for a star if it's going to make you miss a Toad. You will regret it. There is a heart system every few hundred points, like in Game & Watch Gallery 1 in most games. Every 200 and 500 points, you'll get a heart in most modern games here. I think only Toads can fall into the cannon, by the way. Ooh, voice crack. And the only other mechanic we haven't mentioned is the fish. The Cheap Chomp, Boss Bass, whatever it is. I think those are the same thing now. I can't remember. I don't think it's a Big Bertha. But I don't know if this exact incarnation has an official name. It will hop around randomly and you think, oh, it's going to eat the Toads instantly or whatever. Because if something falls in the water, it gets chased by the giant fish. But they can actually land on top of the fish and bounce up, giving you an extra window of time to grab the parachuter, which is very nice. It's a very good save. Very generous of the game. So you can actually strategize with the fish, which is interesting. But I actually really like this. This is one of my favorite modern incarnations in the Game & Watch Gallery series. And I really like its use of colors here. The background looks really nice. The water looks really nice. So this is a very nice way to start off the Game Boy Color here. It's a nice launch title. This game, of course, received positive reviews from critics. There was only one review who wasn't that impressed and said the games get stale pretty quickly, which I can see. But one review on a website on the Wayback Machine, I think it might have been Nintendojo, which I just think it's really funny looking at reviews that still exist on the internet, because IGN still has all their old reviews up from the 90s, and like just seeing somebody write a contemporary review on the internet of like something like Game & Watch Gallery 2 is just, it's unreal. I was a month old when this game came out. I think the launch day of the Game Boy Color is the day I was supposed to be born. That was my mother's due date. But of course, we're going by worldwide release dates on the channel for the timeline of games I do. So we're still in 1997, but, you know, again, this only came out in the Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, in Japan. But in 2020, in the Giga Leak, yeah, I don't know why I said it that way. I always do. It's the autism, I'm sure. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the way I pronounce things. They found an entirely finished Japanese Game Boy Color ROM of the game in the Giga Leak that went unreleased. So, poor Japanese. They could have been playing it in their native language this whole time if Nintendo had just released it. I don't know why they didn't. But, who knows? Maybe the series just didn't sell as well in Japan as it did the West? I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Western market was their primary market because they had a whole game exclusive to, you know, Australia. I think just Australia too, right? Like that whole region. Or maybe it was just the country of Australia. I don't know. Because, you know, we always learned it in school as the continent of Australia, but really that's more Oceania. And I still don't know how to pronounce that. I wish they had taught us in school, you know, its name properly, because I want to know how to pronounce it. I should ask, you know, my friend from New Zealand, like, who moved here to West Tennessee, the United States. Well, I feel like I'm getting off track. But that's okay in this game because this is a hangout game. Ooh, that was close. So the more the game goes on, the more stars it will shoot out of the cannon. Assuming you get the first star. Oh, no. Oh. But generally, it's pretty easy to get all the stars. And if you miss one, they just stop spawning. So you miss out on a lot of the bonus points. But as you can see, they are a huge help with points. Oh, I haven't explained one of the most important things. But you know what? I'll get to that in a minute, because it doesn't really affect us right now. I want to finish... Technically, I already did play a Game Boy Color game on the channel, because I swapped... Okay, Pokemon Generation 1 is complicated. I erased Pokemon Japanese Red and Blue, because I consider those different games from our list of games, because they don't have accurate ROM translations. But I kept Pokemon Green... American Red, Blue, and of course, you know, Yellow, which I don't separate the Japanese and Western versions as different games because they have very few differences, you know, as opposed to Red and Blue. But, damn it! Oh. Alright, this is gonna be hard because I play on the Game Boy a lot differently than I do on the GameCube controller. I guess I could try it out. I'll finish my sentence first. Oh, sorry, I'm a little focused on the game. That was our first miss, though, so that's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident we can do this. But I swapped Pokemon Green and Pokemon Yellow, so you could see the definitive version of Generation 1 Pokemon first on the channel for me to complete, and then do weird stuff with other games. I thought that would be weird to have full, complete playthroughs of... Ooh, the control pad actually works nicely for the way I'm playing. No! Shit! Okay, I said nicely. It's not as nicely. I know I'm blaming it on the controller, but what I should be blaming it on is myself for not practicing on the actual GameCube, because we're playing this on, yes, the Game Boy player. I would pause and prove it to you, because I need to pause to show off something anyway, but I guess I'll wait a minute. God, that was stressful. And I think that's our last heart. I think there's one at 200, one at 500, and one at 700 in most games. God. See, the Yoshis are often more difficult than the Juniors because of the... Like, you don't know where they're... How high in the air they're... what altitude their parachute is going to deploy. So you just have to really be careful. Oh... But the Donkey Kong Juniors can also, you know, of course, be a pain because at the higher speeds, it's like you have like half a second to go get them from when they spawn into the screen. Oh, see that's dirty. Oh, dirty Yoshi placement. Why are all the Yoshis green? Come on, we got color. Because obviously they didn't want to make different sprites for all the different Yoshis, and people would get confused and assume the different colored Yoshis do different things. Again, Game & Watch games, simplicity is best. I feel like that's a department where Game & Watch Gallery 2 isn't as good as the first. I don't know if I like this game. I like the selection of Game & Watch games better, and the improvements over the first Gallery game. But as a whole, I'm actually not sure. I guess we'll find out later toward the end. There are some distinct changes, but I said I was going to finish the Game Boy Color conversation a million times. Basically, Pokemon Yellow didn't really showcase because it was just a colorized version of, you know, a Game Boy game, essentially. The colors didn't really pop. I mean, there were different colors in each town, and it was really nice, and it was appealing. Oh my god. Oh. But, you know, the colors really pop here, specifically with this background. Especially, not specifically. I don't know, I think this looks really good. And I can't imagine playing this game on the regular Game Boy version. Oh shit, we're at 940? I had no idea. I had no idea I was doing this okay. Man, I didn't practice Parachute that much. I got 1,000 points once and thought, I'm good. You know, I think struggling is a big part of the appeal for these videos. I kind of cracked myself up. I'm actually pretty proud of the Game & Watch Gallery series I did, you know, for what it was as a game. I thought it wasn't going to be nearly that interesting, but I think it was good. I think it was some of my best, like, I think these games are great hangout games. Arcade-style games are always good. Oh, well, wait, why do I care? We got 1,000 points on the first try, and this is my first take. I never keep a first take. Okay, technically it's the second, but the first one was 30 seconds. I always do that. Delete the first one after 30 seconds, because, you know, I adopt the Miyamoto philosophy of the beginning of anything is the most important part. So if the first 30 seconds of your video is whack, then just get rid of it. Redo the whole thing. That's my philosophy. Got my feet on the ground, and you're fucked up like a clam. I still don't know what Ben Folds says there in the song Philosophy, track 2 from Ben Folds 5's album Ben Folds 5. Oh my god, that's one of my favorite albums of all time. We did it! Oh my god! Woo! Oh, I spent my entire day yesterday playing Game & Watch Gallery 2. The entire day. I did other stuff while I did it. I watched The Curse with my wife, watched some Pokemon, etc. You guys don't care about that. I'm saying on this screen because in the pause screen or the game over screen, you can press B to change the border. It takes a second. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little detail. I can't remember if I read that in the manual or not, but this is a shocking amount of borders. Have we seen them all yet? Yeah, I think. Yeah, okay, that's all of them. Wow. Bonus. This panel? You did it! Wow! Gallery Corner will now have a new event. Let's go and open its panel right now. Whoa! Because I got all 5 stars. We actually have this from the beginning. I lied when I said the Gallery Corner has nothing for us. Now, obviously, he already said this at the beginning, the welcome message, but basically new messages will be at the top, and Toad will be very excited to tell you. And why do the big Mario graphics look so weird? Like, it looks like, from my angle, he's wearing a baseball glove, but like, what is that he's sitting next to? What is that, like, near his right shoulder? Because it looks like both of his hands are gripping the Game Boy. I don't know. Best not to think about it. The No board informs you of many things. For example, press select on the mode select screen to turn the BGM in modern off. Thank you. And if you do well enough in a game, you unlock secrets. Modern mode bonus chance. Every 100 points. Catch the star for the bonus. If a Boo Buddy is caught, it'll be trouble. And the music room, which we just unlocked with 5 stars. Because this is the thing I keep trying to say, but forget about. The star system has been completely overhauled. You still get a star for every 200 points in a game. So, you know, you max out a mode of a game by getting 1,000 points. That's 5 stars. So it's the same as before. So you can get 20 stars in each game total. For Modern Easy, Modern Hard, Classic Easy, and Classic Hard. So that's 20 stars right there. But instead of unlocking stuff based on your point thresholds in each mode, or each game, Classic versus Modern, you get the point if you know the first game at all, then okay, they changed that to where it just counts your star total. So we have 5 stars. We could have gotten those 5 stars from anywhere and unlocked more stuff. I think this is a much better game progression because it allows you to go from game to game, hop around and think, okay, where can I most easily get my next star to unlock something? You know, so you're hopping around game to game. You're not just forced to get... You could skip an entire game and still unlock whatever the hell you want to in the other games by maxing them out. So I think it's a great system. Alright. We could have been checking out the music room while I went all over that. But, yep. There's that. Let's go check out the music room. And we get a little band performance. I like the Toad's the drummer. Do you think this is a reference to that unfinished Donkey Kong music game where Donkey Kong, Mario, and Pauline, and maybe Junior were playing instruments? Because it kind of looks like that. But you might be wondering, what the hell is Helmet 1, 2, and 3? Who cares? You'll see it later. And this just makes this sound. Oh, okay, the visual doesn't come with me pressing A, but we haven't unlocked whatever those are yet. So let's get back in and do hard. I thought I accidentally erased my data because it says that the first time you press, you know, at the very beginning of the game. Oh god, that scared me. I was like, do I have to redo the 1,000 points? I kind of like that. I kind of liked not having to do it again, but we are doing it again now in hard. In 1 second. Let me take a swig.